Hey everyone, welcome to the Joe Giannino Show. Are you excited? I know I am. Tonight we have a really special guest on tonight, which I will be talking about in a minute. But I will tell you, the weather is changing, and being in a wheelchair, I got to get changed for my tires because of the snow. You got to put the snow chains on the tires so I can push the chair through the snow. So that's why I need everybody to tune in. So tonight we have a special guest. On the show is Camille Giannino, and we are half related because my last name is Giannino. She's Giannino. So, welcome, Camille.
Thank you, Joe.
You're very welcome.
It's the last half, right?
That's right.
The
first half and the last half. That's it.
Great to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, anytime. You're welcome. I performed with this lady many times. Very talented, very funny, will make you laugh. Outstanding performance. Really good.
That is so nice of you to say that.
It's true. It's true. She cripples me every time. So anyway, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just enjoying the weather. That's great. I'm in rehearsals too. I'm doing a stage reading. We're in rehearsals for that. The play Harvey, very funny play.
It's coming up?
It's coming up November 11th and 12th.
And where at?
That's going to be Playcrafters Theater Company. And it's on Atlantic Avenue in Bellport. It's actually inside the Boys Club. They have a great theater in there.
Really?
Yeah, really good.
Can anybody rent it out? Or?
Yeah, I think so, sure.
That's great.
Yeah.
So maybe we should talk to them about renting and doing shows and performing.
I don't see why not.
That'd
it's
be
a great stage.
Deal, right?
Yeah.
So, and that's closest thing you have coming up? Do you have any acts?
Actually, I will be in Vegas in February. And interestingly enough, the last time I was in Vegas, I got a hold of Steve McKinley. I don't know if you know him. He puts on a lot of shows in Vegas.
Sounds familiar.
And I just, I get gutsy every now and then, so I emailed him. And he said, just send me a tape. So I sent him a tape. P.S. I ended up being on one of his shows.
Nice.
So that was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And so I'm going back in February, and he said, if you're coming into town, get you on a show.
Well,
so I can honestly say I played Vegas.
That's right.
Didn't make any money, but I played Vegas.
That's right.
That's okay.
Just so you know, everyone, tonight we are taking phone calls. So if you want to call in, the number is 1-516-945-9099. It's on the screen. Call in, and we'll take any questions you may have, because it's a live broadcasting. And I just want you to know the Joe Giannino Show is not filmed in front of a live audience. So, this way you know. Because when we do our jokes, people don't hear the laughter. They must go, they really suck. I don't hear the audience laughing at all. We don't have an audience. If we had an audience, you'd hear the laughter. But we don't have one.
That's right.
We can't afford it.
All right.
That's why I go out with my tin cup, my dark glasses, and my dog on the corner, and I beg for money. But,
how do you make out? Was that got a good run on that?
Yeah. There's a guy in New York that makes $250 an hour.
Jeez.
And he literally gets undressed and gets in a Mercedes. I mean, that's sad.
Oh my God.
It really does.
I think we're in the wrong business.
You ain't kidding.
Jeez.
I mean, listen, if somebody's disabled and you want to help them, great.
Yeah.
If somebody's truly disabled, great. But the phonies,
I know.
3 shots to the back of the head. That's it. Tying style.
That's it.
What are they doing? That doesn't work for me.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, other than performing, how's your family?
They're good.
Yeah?
They're good. Yeah, they're really good. The husband's sleeping in the car. He's, I usually have that effect on him. Usually, he's sleeping in the car because he doesn't have his couch, so he's in the car right now. But yeah, I also do. I actually work with children during the day.
What do you do?
I'm a recess monitor.
What is that?
Kindergarten kids.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I run it like Alcatraz for the tiny ones.
For the tiny ones.
Yeah.
Are you strict? Do you let them go?
I'm pretty strict.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So get over here, put your head down, and they do it. It's like you have control over 5-year-olds. You know how powerful that feels? It's amazing.
That's funny because I remember when I was in class, I was growing up, and I had to take tests, and I wanted to get out of them. This is the truth. I used to let the air out of my tires in my wheelchair. Dead serious.
Good.
And they would have to literally I would tell the teacher, look, I don't know what happened. I got a flat in my tire. Can I go to the janitor to get it fixed?
Yeah.
And he would say, yeah. And I would, being in the janitor's office, they knew me and they were friends of mine.
Yeah.
And they let me stay there like for that period, so I missed the test. And I'd have to retake it, but I wasn't ready for it that day. I didn't study, and I knew I could always get out of it. It was great. I used to cut class, get away with murder in high school. The things I used to get away with is unbelievable. The wheelchair was a great prop for high school and junior high.
Really?
I mean, all my teachers now watching going, I knew he was full of shit.
Right?
But, I mean, I got away with so many things. I mean, just the other night, I was out with my buddies, and they were all gathered around the bar.
Yeah.
And we were drinking, and, you know, I told them, I said, I'm on medication, so, you know, I'll have a Coke. So they're like, have one shot with us. And I ordered a girly shot, you know, one of those light shots.
Yeah. One of those foo-foo shots.
Yeah.
Huh?
So I was like, you know, and they're teasing me, you know. So I said, I don't want to get a WWO. And they're like, what? I said, wheeling while intoxicated. I said, I don't need that. I said, the last time I got pulled over, the cop knew I wasn't wearing my seatbelt. He opened up the car door. I fell out. And he was like, you know, it was a nightmare. So I was like, no more of that.
It was a fun night, huh?
Oh.
Had a good time?
Always. When you're out with comics, you know how it is.
Yeah, I know.
You know,
it's either that or the diner, right?
Yes, that's the famous, like you said, it's famous last words.
Yeah.
Are we going to the diner after this?
Are we going to the diner?
Yeah. And it's true, because what do we do after work? We have to, you know, after being on stage, and you're working, and you're doing your act, whether if you're booked for a half hour, an hour, 20 minutes, whatever it is, you got to unwind.
That's right.
You know, there's no way you can go home after that and just relax. It's totally impossible. You want to just hang out with the people you work with, and unwind. And it's like, just so you know, when you're a comedian and you work with a bunch of different comics, it's one big family. It really is. It's one big, giant family. And, you know, I always look to help out my fellow comic, no matter who it is. And people, you know, have this thing where they're like women, some of them. You know, they want to, I don't like this person, and if you're talking to him, then I'm not talking to you. And, you know what? Time to grow up.
It's a totally different world. I mean, I came from an acting background, and I always thought actors were crazy. We are. And then I went to stand-up.
Now, did you go to acting school?
I did. I actually went to Stephen Rosenfeld, the American Institute of Comedy. They have an institute for comedy. It's amazing.
Well, they have the National Theater Workshop of the Handicap. That's an acting school. It's accredited acting school in Manhattan. I went there.
See that?
2 years.
Manhattan has everything. It has everything. But that's where I went. I went there and studied with him for 8 years, I wish, right? 8 months. And then Rich Walker. He used to get so mad at me. He used to say, you go all over every teacher and you just don't come to me. So one day I got this epiphany that maybe I should just go try it, you know. And I went, and I'm going to tell you something. He really actually changed my whole concept of how to write comedy.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. I got kudos to Rich Walker, my pal.
Rich is a good guy.
He's
Rich,
a good guy,
I've worked with Rich many years. Good, funny man. He's actually doing, I think, he's teaching, if I'm not mistaken, right? He's still teaching, or
yeah, he still has Stand-Up University.
Right?
Stand-Up, yeah. Him and Peter Bales.
Right. Peter, great guy.
Yeah, great guy, Peter.
I love him.
Yeah.
Good man. Peter's
so
good people.
that's why I kept going from one to the other. So I did a lot of studying and learning how to write comedy. I think that's important.
Writing,
So
you know, people ask me all the time, where do you get your material from? So you know, material comes from everyday life.
Every day.
Something happens in our lives, and they always say, pick a comedian and guarantee you they had a tragic past. And it's true. Something happened tragically in their lives, and they take that and they reverse it. And it's like taking lemons and making lemonade, and they make people laugh with it. Some people can't deal with that, like as far as like, you know, the audience. Some are like, oh, how could she say that? Or how could he say that? You know what? It's funny, that's how. You know, they don't take life. I told you earlier. I said, right, life is for the living.
That's right.
It's time to, you know, enjoy life. Tomorrow is promised to nobody. So live it to the fullest extent and have fun with it.
That's right.
And joke
Absolutely.
around. I was telling Camille there was a dance studio, and I went into the dance studio out of nowhere, literally just pushed a chair in. Now there's a class going on, it's busy, and they're teaching, and I yell out loud, "When's my first lesson?" And everybody just like stopped, looked, and was silent. And then this one girl started cracking up laughing, and I said, "Gotta go, see you," and I left. But to do that out of nowhere,
Yeah.
that's to me was funny.
Exactly.
Now, nobody chased me out the door. No one
Yeah.
ran after me and started calling me names. None of that.
Right.
I'm sure they're probably saying that guy's a psycho in a wheelchair and he's head examined. But, you know, the truth is, that's humor.
Yeah.
You know, and that's funny. And those are the things like I want to videotape and put on YouTube because I've
Right.
actually done crazy things like that.
Do you find that spontaneous, right?
Yes.
I find the best comedy for me, even though I write the stuff
Right.
and I rehearse the stuff,
Mhm.
but I don't know about you, but when I get out on stage, the whole thing changes. It all changes.
Everybody.
Right?
Yes.
And I love doing the crowd work.
Yes. Work in the audience.
Work in the audience.
Yes.
Love that.
You, out of all the female comics, I'm being sincere that I've worked with, I've never seen anybody work the audience better than you.
Oh, thanks.
I'm serious.
I love working in the audience.
I know.
Really do.
I could tell
Yeah.
you enjoy your job
Yeah.
just by when you do that. Because you lead that audience any way you want. You got him. Camille owns them. You do.
Yeah.
And you take them any way you want. And that's a power. That's a power.
Better than the 5-year-olds. You know, it's so funny because one of the things I worked with Rudy Fusco on one of his shows. We did a yacht club.
Rudy's like a brother.
I
Great
love
guy.
Rudy. He's a great
Rudy
guy. I've worked
Fusco
a
could do
number
no
of his
wrong in my
shows.
eyes.
Absolutely. He's a sweet guy. He really
Yes.
is. He's always there for you. You know, Rudy's really tops.
I took him to 2 Yankee games this year.
Did you?
Yep.
Wow. So we did this show.
Mhm.
And my first thing, you know, being Italian, you have to throw something Italian out there. So
Absolutely.
you're like, how many Italians in the room? And like half the room is raising their hands. So my next question is, oh, that's wonderful. You have plastic on your couch. Well, you know what? This one woman said no. I wasn't used to that, but fast. You have to think fast. So I said, so you're adopted. And it just totally broke up the whole place.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, I just hope when I say that somebody says no. You know?
Right. Because now you have a line.
Now
for
I
it.
have a line, but it came like so fast, you know, and it was like, okay, she said no, all right, okay, so you're adopted.
You know, it's funny the way you said that because the questions I get asked a lot as a performer is, Joe, you don't really get heckled much being in a wheelchair, right? And I'm like, you wouldn't believe it, but I do. I mean,
Bet you do.
Yeah. And they want to know who would heckle a comic in a wheelchair. And to me, that I like that.
Yeah.
Because now you're, what I'm trying to portray when I'm on that stage is, hey, listen, I'm like everybody else.
Right.
I told you earlier, I said, I don't care if you call me a fat bastard in a wheelchair. I don't care if you call me a crippled moron, idiot, loser, low. It doesn't matter to me. To me, I laugh it off and say, so you met my friends and family. But, I mean, you know, I'll always joke around about things like that.
Right.
And to me, I'll do anything for a gag to make people laugh. I've literally intentionally had somebody bump into me and flip my wheelchair over
Oh my.
and pretended to be hurt.
Oh my
Where people are
God.
like, oh my God, do you need help? And I'm like, yeah, it's my legs. And they're like, what's wrong? I was like, I can't walk. And they're like, you're such a jerk. But, you know, it's like, I do things like that because it's funny.
It's funny.
It is.
Yeah.
And some people, like, you know, the best compliment I ever got was when I get off stage, I have people that will come over to me. And a woman asked me, she says, Joe, she says, I have a son in a wheelchair, and he don't get out. You know, he won't go out in public, and he doesn't leave the house.
Wow.
And she's like, maybe you can come over and talk to him. Maybe, you know. And it's difficult for me because I've been in a wheelchair for 46 years.
That long?
Yeah, since I was 5 years
Wow.
old.
Wow.
So when you're in a wheelchair for 46 years, you know, it's very difficult to tell somebody else who's in a wheelchair how to behave or what to do, because they have every right to tell you to go F yourself, you know, mind your own business. And I can't argue with them because I know what they're going through.
Right.
You know, I can relate to them because, see, the difference between me is I was blessed because I come from a large Italian family. And, you know, I grew up with 4 brothers, 2 sisters, and my mom and dad. And, you know, I was in a car accident when I was 5. And I joke around on stage and I tell everybody I had no business driving the car at 5. But that's really what happened. I was a drunk driver, you know, and she crashed into my family's car and she ended up killing my family, put me in a wheelchair and all that. And the thing of it is, people say, boy, you must be tough on drunk drivers and things like, no, because, you know, listen, I believe that if you, as an adult, if you had too much to drink, you should know better.
Should be responsible.
Right, exactly.
Take responsibility.
You know, I don't think, though, some of these laws are a little ridiculous. They're taking cars away if they're slightly buzzed, you know, and they're like, oh, you're still drunk. Yeah, but you know what? There are times that I know people that I'm out with. They're not drunk, and you know, they got arrested.
Well, that's it, Joe. You can have 3 beers and get pulled over and get arrested.
It's true, and you know, and to me, I call that you know, the punishment don't fit the crime.
Doesn't fit the crime. Exactly.
You know, and that's the thing. There's got to be a moderation to everything.
Right.
For every law, not just drunk driving, everything. And sometimes I think the politicians and the politics of things get out of hand.
They take it to a different level, though. You know, that's the thing. You're right. They take this incident and they make it this big, and then everybody suffers.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I believe everybody should be able to get a firearm. I do.
Right.
And it shouldn't be you have to get a permit or a license. You should be checked, make sure a background investigation.
Oh, absolutely.
And all. But our Constitution says we have a right to bear arms.
Second
period.
Amendment.
Right.
That's right.
But now you have state laws, county laws, this law, and that's bullcrap. Because you want to know something? That only eliminates the bad guys. Don't go for that. They get whatever they want.
Well, it's the same with drugs. You can't buy drugs, but yet they're getting it.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's the same with guns.
Absolutely. We got a call coming in.
Got a phone call.
Let's take that call. Hello?
Joe Giannino, how you doing? I'm watching on my computer right now, and I agree with the guns, but I think the way you could handle guns is, I don't own a gun, but I bought myself a bulletproof vest.
You what?
I bought myself a bulletproof vest.
A bulletproof vest,
so I don't need to own a gun.
Right.
I protect myself and my family with bulletproof vests that we got on Amazon.
That works, though, only if the guy doesn't shoot you in the head.
It's true, but it's better than having guns in your house, because I believe guns lead to violence, and I personally don't believe in owning a gun, especially if you have children.
All right, let me ask you a question. Guy buys a hammer at Home Depot, and through the course of 6 months, you hear in the news and the paper, some maniac's got a hammer and he's going around smashing people in the head and they're dying. Do we outlaw hammers now? Do we get permits for hammers? Because hammers kill.
I didn't say anything about outlawing anything. I just said that I don't believe that a family should have guns if they have children. And the way I protect my family personally is with bulletproof vests. If we hear anything outside, we put our vest on. And as far as hammers, that's just crazy talk, because anybody can go off the deep end at any time. And I don't think you should ban guns. I never said that. I said people who don't like guns can easily get themselves a bulletproof vest.
Yes, for people that don't like guns can get themselves a bulletproof vest. I agree. There's many ways in this world to protect yourself.
Listen, you're not even listening to me. I just wanted to call. I'm not here to fight with you. Okay.
I know you're not looking to fight with me.
Okay.
Besides, it'd be embarrassing if a guy in a wheelchair beat up a walking guy anyway.
Does he have a bulletproof vest on?
Do you have a bulletproof vest? All right. Call is
Oh,
disconnected.
call's gone.
All right, that was interesting.
That was interesting. Yeah.
I thought I had a handicap until I heard him talking. No,
Yeah,
you know what it is.
true.
People have different opinions,
You've always got, well, that's what
and
makes
that's
the
what
world go
yeah,
around.
absolutely.
Yeah.
But people think that because you own a gun, that it's going to bring violence and everything. You know what?
Yeah.
You're sleeping. You got kids in the house. He's got a gun. You don't have anything. What do you do to protect your family? In bed. You're not going to go to sleep with a bulletproof vest on.
No, I was just going to say that.
Right? And you're going into, somebody's house. You're breaking into it. You don't know what to expect.
Well, you know what happens now? This was like a long time ago. I think there was a criminal that broke into a guy's house. The guy shot the criminal, and the guy went to jail.
Yeah.
I mean, so what happened? And the one that got shot sued the guy that shot him.
That's amazing.
I mean, it's insane. It's insane. Now, talk about comedy.
Right, yeah. You're supposed to be able to defend yourself,
Yeah.
especially if it's a life-threatening situation.
If you lived in Texas, that wouldn't be a problem.
No. In fact, a lot of states, I'm
Yeah.
licensed to carry a firearm. And my license is good throughout the United States, except for I'm licensed in, I believe it's 40 states. And my license doesn't work in New York, and it doesn't work in Connecticut,
Get out.
Jersey, all the other states I can go through.
You mean all the Democratic states?
And I have a
that
full
why?
carry concealed.
Wow.
So I can carry concealed in all these other states. And I went through an FBI investigation.
Yeah,
Now,
it's not easy to get a
no,
permit.
right. And the thing that gets me the most is after the background, because they make sure that you're today to get it.
Yeah.
I had to go through one of those tests where they make sure you're psychologically sound.
Fit. Yeah.
Right. Now, after doing all that, I want to know, I live in New York.
Yeah.
Why can't my permit be transferred to a New York permit?
That's amazing.
I won't
can't
do
even
it.
believe that, really.
They will not honor it. They will not. And the only ones, their attitude is the only ones they want to have guns as far as carrying concealed are police officers.
Okay.
Which to me is, I believe a cop should carry his gun. My dad was a cop. We have another phone call coming in. Let's take that call.
Yes, is this Joe?
This is Joe.
Hi, Joe. I'm just really I don't usually call shows, but I'm a little upset because that gentleman that just called, that's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
What's that?
About the bulletproof vest.
Oh.
That is idiotic. So you're going to have your whole family with bulletproof vests. You're going to go to church with bulletproof. That's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard.
Well, I was just telling Camille that people, part of my French, but an opinion's like an asshole. Everybody's got one. And you want to know
No, but
something?
I'm sitting here with my wife, and I'm like, that is so stupid.
It's like the person that called in, I don't know him, but he hung up before I got a chance to thank him for calling in. But it's just really ridiculous that, I agree with what you're saying. The whole world is not going to walk around. And first of all, the vest, it's cheaper to buy a gun than it is the vest.
It's a type of child abuse if you think about it. Really, I mean, that's just ridiculous. So if you have a family of 7, you're gonna have 7 bulletproof. I mean, it's idiotic. It's so stupid.
Where do you live? Where are you from?
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, Joe. Can I call you right back?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. I'm going to call you right back.
Okay.
You also have to have different sizes: small, medium, large, extra small. That
Yep.
can get a little bit
Yep.
confusing,
No.
especially if you're rushing to get one of those vests.
And I don't know if you've noticed, you ever see lately at night, the TVs, what's going on? They're doing that broadcasting. If this was a real emergency, more of those.
I hate that.
Yeah, but it's going on every night, every single night. It does not. All channels are having it.
Really?
Yeah, and that bothers me.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
that tells me the government knows something.
They know something we don't know
We
yet.
don't know.
Yeah,
It's going to happen, and they want us to prepare for when they tell you we're evacuating you. I'm never leaving my house. I don't care what they do. You know what? Then we're going to have a problem because I'm not going nowhere. I'm the guy who brings out the white elephant in the room, and that ain't happening.
Well, remember years ago when we were kids, we used to have those little signs on those buildings that was like a shelter?
Yes.
Remember that?
Yes.
Did you grow up
Yeah,
in Brooklyn?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
There you go. Right? These little triangle signs, and it was a shelter. It was right after, well, I was born right after World War II. I'm sorry. Just scratch that. But you know, during the Korean War and everything,
Right.
they'd always have these sirens going off. And if you were a kid in Brooklyn,
Yep.
you'd have to go under the
Underneath the
desk. I
desk.
could never figure that out.
Under the
Yeah,
desk.
under under a wooden desk. And if they were to drop a bomb on your ass,
That's to
What-
protect the
to pro-
desk.
how's that desk going to protect you? Anyway, but remember that? And
Right.
I remember all the time getting this really weird feeling like, oh my gosh, I was going to have to run down there. Now they don't have that anymore. So what are we going to do?
I don't know.
I
but
haven't seen one on Long Island. Have you ever seen one on Long Island?
No, but they used to say all high schools are supposed to have a basement for if something like that was to happen. Go to your local high school and all that, which I don't even know if that's true anymore. That's
don't
when I was
know.
growing up as a kid. I'm 51. So.
Oh, okay, so much older than you. Well,
Uh-huh.
we had the under the desk
Yeah.
routine and go down to shelter wherever that was.
And, you know, it was just ironic only because of the fact that me being in a wheelchair, I know most of these places, there's doctor's offices that aren't handicap accessible.
Yeah, yeah.
So I
yeah.
wonder what these shelters look like because no one's ever said, Joe, if they go to drop a bomb on your house, this is what you should be doing in a wheelchair and go there. I mean, it doesn't.
No, I don't think they address that.
But they have a TV show, that the Survival,
Yeah.
where they live off the grid
Right.
and all that. And I
Right.
watch these guys, and I commend them.
Yeah.
I do.
That I couldn't do that.
No. And, you know, I voted for Trump, and people, like, make fun at me.
So did I.
Did
I'm one
you?
of those deplorables.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we'll be made fun of.
Oh, absolutely.
We're
I get yelled
applauding.
at all the time.
Yeah, and you know what? He's doing the right thing. I don't care what anybody says. He's doing the right thing. And he's pushing through the gun law to
Yeah.
carry a gun. And I respect that. And you know what? I'll always back Trump. I really will. This is a guy who's sharp.
Mm-hmm.
People don't think he is. And
He's not
you
a
know what?
politician.
Right. That's what it is.
He's not a politician.
That's what it is.
What's
He's
up
a real
here comes out his mouth. There's no
he
filter.
don't give a shit.
That's
Right.
it.
He says what's on
And
his
he's
mind.
saying what most of us are thinking, and we're afraid to say it.
Right.
You know.
You're right. I just hope because you know, I do a lot of research and listen to certain things on TV. I just hope because he even said it when he was campaigning. The actual president isn't really running the country.
Absolutely
He said
not,
there are
yeah.
people behind the scenes that are pulling the strings
Absolutely.
and running this world. And when he said that, what made me think is I hope because I was, you know, he wasn't in office at the time.
Yeah.
Now that he's in office, I want to know, I'm curious to how he's dealing with those people that are going to be trying to tell him, hey, look, pal,
Yeah.
we have more power than you know.
Right.
And how's he dealing with that? Because, you know what, I don't ever want him to change where he's manipulated.
I
you
don't know if
to
he
do
can
the-
be. Do you think he can be? I don't think so. I think he's a real hard ass. I
Yeah,
don't think
no,
he's
I'm
that
not talking
easily
about that.
manipulated.
But the way when he spoke, and there are books out on it, how, you know, people get manipulated where they get threats to their families and
Yeah.
everything else. And
Yeah.
you know, if somebody's going to hurt your kid or you have even the slightest doubt of that, that would make him, you know, I could see him changing his mind on something, you
It's
know.
only human. It's
Right.
human nature.
Right,
really.
to protect your family.
Exactly.
You know, and these people supposedly have the CIA and the FBI and everybody else under their belt where they can
Right.
control these people. So I always worry about crap like that because, you know, people always say you shouldn't talk about politics
Or
or
religion.
religion. And guess what? Think about it. It's the two most important things in our life.
You're right.
It really is.
Right.
It really
Exactly.
is. And we're not supposed to talk about it, you know, but once again,
We're talking about it, aren't
we're
we?
doing what we want.
We're talking
that's,
about
that's it. We do what we
That's
want.
right.
Besides, what are they going to do? Break my leg?
That's right. I mean, hey, never mind. I'm sitting right next to you.
Well, if they break my arm, I'll be pushing in a circle for the rest of my life.
That's okay. I promise I'll wheel you around.
Ah, you're a sweetheart.
Not a problem.
That's what I need. I need somebody. They have these new things now. I was watching for disabled people, companions. If they live alone
Right.
and they
right.
need a companion
Yeah.
and all that, and I think that was pretty good because you know I don't think like a disabled person should think. I just don't.
Well, that's
I don't
good.
see myself
Yeah.
as a disabled man. You
Yeah.
know, in a sense that I'm very blessed that you know I could do things. I'm only allowed, believe it or not, 6 hours in my chair a day because I had surgery. And I use them towards my show you know, to do this.
Right.
Because this is my outing. This is my enjoyment.
Right.
And I have aides that take care of me, and they come to my house, and they, you know, I don't cook and I don't clean, so they do all that.
They do all that, right.
But other than that, I don't think, like, I never thought about when you're alone and you're elderly to the point where you can't manipulate, you know, yourself that well and move around. Who, you know, other than having an aide, when they leave, what's left for them?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And
yeah.
I don't want to mention any names. There was a buddy of mine. He's paralyzed from the neck down. And all he could do was move his head. And he has a helmet. And he has a pencil with the eraser attached to it. And he goes like this, and he types on the internet like that. And I think that's incredible. You know, when he does talk to me, he's like, Joe, I learned so much from the internet, and that keeps him active and busy. And, you know, he meets people, you know, and he got a date with a girl and everything.
Did he really?
And he told her everything about him. You know, like, he didn't, like, hide it.
Right.
And she said, I still want to go out with you. And to me, that was a beautiful thing.
That's fantastic.
You see, because that to me is a girl that's not she has an open mind to think about
and a good heart.
And a good heart.
Yeah.
Because you know what? She's willing to, she didn't say she's going to marry him, but I want to get to know you and see what it's like.
Right.
You know what? If I can handle it, great. If I can't, no problem. You know?
That's the beauty of the internet, though. Because, I mean, someone like this person, he's still in touch with everyone. He's still in touch with the world.
Yes.
You know, which is great. My sister-in-law has a 90-some-odd-year-old mother who is on Facebook, and it's just incredible. I think it's wonderful, and I think it's keeping her mentally stable because she's communicating with people. I think you know, people say the internet has ruined a lot of things, but it's brought a lot of really good stuff.
Right.
I mean, like this show, for instance.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely. You know, this is like one of my dreams come true as far as having my own TV show.
This is great.
And, you know, being able to talk to people, meeting new people, getting people to call in on TV.
Right.
It's great. I love that. And I also like the fact that when you do a show, like meeting women, as you would say, from a disabled point of view, many women don't know what your capabilities are and aren't.
Right.
I mean, I've had women that I've spoke with and asked out, and they've asked me, but I don't mind because one girl made me laugh. She came over to me, she says to me, would you have sex with me? I was like, wow. I was like, that was fast. She didn't even buy me a drink.
Yeah, right.
You know?
No dinner?
And no dinner,
no,
right.
Nothing? Oh,
and you know what she said
God.
to me? I never made love to a man in a wheelchair. I want to know what it's like. Now, that, out of nowhere this happened.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, this is at a place that I'm at, you know, at a bar.
Right.
You know, and my friends are like, Joe, go over it. Go over it. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get AIDS, roll AIDS. But I was just like, you know, people, but I like the honesty.
Yeah.
See, that's what I like. She blunt out there. She wanted to know. She told me. And then, you know, she asked me, she goes, I got to ask you a question. I was like, what? She goes, does it still work? So I said to her, well, I have a son. He's 22. Does that answer your question?
Right.
So she's like, okay. You know, and my son is my biggest fan, Salvatore.
I think I met him.
met-
I
yeah,
met him at the
yes.
Space,
Yeah,
right?
the
When we did
Space,
the show
yes.
there?
Yep.
Yeah.
Him and Ashley, his girlfriend.
Yeah. Yes.
Ashley Matera, yes. In
Are
fact,
they getting married? Looks
that's my
serious.
dream.
Yeah.
They've been together forever, since they were young.
Oh, okay.
And I told him, if he ever lets her go, I'm going to beat him up.
Oh.
I mean, because she's like my daughter.
She's a nice girl. Yeah, she's a really nice girl.
She could do no wrong in my
Yeah,
eyes either.
wow.
She's a sweetheart. And you know what? She comes from a great family. Her brother,
Yeah.
Tyler, in fact, Tyler Matera is like my adopted son. In fact, I adopted him. I took him in because she's my daughter.
Yeah.
And I always said when he marries her someday,
Right.
he's gonna be my brother-in-law.
There you go.
Yeah, what did oh no, my son. Well, she'll be my daughter-in-law.
So he'll be
be
like
my
his son-in-law, maybe?
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Make Sal would be his brother-in-law. That would make me maybe a son-in-law, right? If that's my daughter-in-law.
That's your daughter-in-law. That's her brother, but he's more like your son. Why don't
Yeah.
we just call him your second son?
I do. I love him.
Because the other way is just
Tyler-
too complicated trying to figure it out.
Tyler Matera, if you're not watching, don't worry. I'm going to do another show, and in the beginning, say hello. He has autism. Funny kid, smart kid, very smart, very talented.
They are, you know.
I really very smart, very talented. And you know what to me, what I love about him the most, he shows so much love.
Yeah.
And you know, I do have to make a shout out to my grandson, Noah. Noah, Pop says hello. So when you watch the show and you say, Pop mentioned my name, he'll get a big kick out of that. He's 3. He's 3 years old, and he loves that stuff. And, you know, when I get him, like I have him this weekend,
Yeah.
I watch him, and it's great only because of the fact that I get to spend time with him, and he's like a little man at 3 years old.
And they're so smart, right?
You work with
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah.
How does a normal, he talks like, says words like an adult.
Yeah.
Like, uses a-
I'm telling you, every generation is smarter and smarter and smarter.
Than the
I
ne-
deal with kindergarten kids. I
Right.
deal with 2nd graders and 4th graders, but primarily kindergarten kids. I can't believe the stuff that comes out of their mouth.
Well, they're older than 3, though, right? Do you work with any 3-year-olds?
No, they're 5 years old.
5, okay.
Yeah, but still, they have to be, from the time they're 3,
Okay.
talking and using words like, I don't remember my kids being like
sure.
that. I really don't. I had one little girl drew me a picture, 5 years old. She drew me a picture. She told me to put it on my refrigerator when I get home.
Okay.
And then she proceeds to tell me, make sure you tell everybody that I'm in kindergarten, not college. Who says that?
Right.
So obviously when she was 2 or 3 years old, she was using these kinds of phrases,
Folks, right now, in a moment, we're just going to go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back in a minute. Hey, we're back at the Joe Giannino Show. Here we are, my buddy Joey Petroni. Buddy, you had a long day. What happened?
It was crazy today, man. We had bad weather coming in. We had a nor'easter coming in.
Yep.
So, my crew works out in Smithtown now because I'm kind of banned from Nassau County. And so I sent my crew out. We had about 20 jobs to do today. So they were hustling because they wanted to beat the storm. My guy Larry was driving the ride-on mower, and he was going around. There's a lot of property out there. And he came down by the curb, and he ran over the neighbor's house. That was from the house that we were mowing. He ran over his garbage cans. They went underneath the ride-on mower, and he was hustling, man. He didn't realize it. And not only did he rip them up, they were smoking and smoldering, but he also damaged the lawn of our customer. He dragged it up and down the lawn. So now there's we got to replace the grass and everything. So tonight, I promised my client that I was going to run to Home Depot. There's a 24-hour Home Depot up in Jericho. I'm going to get new pails, and I'm going to head out to Smithtown after the show. I'm going to replace the garbage cans and see what I can do with a flashlight tonight to fix the grass before.
You're actually going to do this tonight?
I got
In this weather?
you know, I'm already having a lot of problems landscaping. I'm even thinking of going into my DJ business full time and just forget about landscaping. It's not working out.
Yeah.
The thing, you know this, and everybody knows this, is that if you want a job done right, do it yourself.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
And I let the boys go out to Smithtown today while I was preparing for coming on your show tonight, being here as an intern, which I appreciate. It's an honor to be here.
I love you. You're like my
Thank you.
brother.
Also, I made use of my time today. I went to my dentist, and I had a tooth with a filling in it that was loose, and he wanted to know what I wanted to do with it. And I said, whatever you think's best, and he pulled it. So now I have a gap here, and he's trying to sell me, you know, it was a misunderstanding.
Yeah.
$1,500 for an implant, right?
Right.
And since
cap.
we're not on the same page, he said he'll do half price, $750. I don't have $750, so now I'm gonna walk around with, you know, without a tooth for now. Just not a good day for me, man. You know,
I
it hasn't been a
understand.
good day. So.
You know, it's ironic is, you know, not many people notice about me, but I do motivational speaking, public speaking. And, you know, they give me the product knowledge, and I go out there and I'll talk to them if it's a product.
Right.
Or some people need me to boost their inspiration and get them motivated on, you know, life and how to be successful. And I do that, and my technique obviously is different from being in a chair, because I always tell everybody, if I could be successful, and I'm a shaker and a mover,
Right. Right.
there's no reason why you can't, you know, and I give them tips.
The difference between you and I, Joe, is Joe thinks before he acts. He's calm and cool, right? It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't make a decision. You don't do anything. You think it out first.
Absolutely.
React.
I react first, and then I go backwards and I think about how stupid that was, you know. Like being at the dentist today, man. You know, think about it. I said, do whatever you think. You know, I didn't realize.
You said that to a dentist?
Yeah, whatever you think's best. Now these guys, they're in the business to make money. You know
Of
that,
course,
right?
absolutely.
So what's best for him is a $1,500 implant,
Yeah.
because they only get like 30 or 40 bucks for a filling. All I
Right.
needed was a filling to be replaced. And you know, on the because now my insurance is not going to cover this. You know, on the X-ray, it shows a loose filling, right? And my insurance that I pay for out of pocket will replace the filling. They want to know why was the tooth pulled? Because I told my dentist, do whatever you think's best. And what's best for him, not for me.
See, you didn't emphasize that. You didn't say what's best for me.
Now you learned that when you tell somebody, you
Yeah.
got to be specific.
If you can't trust your dentist, man, you know who you to trust. But
What kind of car does he drive, Joe?
a Mercedes.
There
Him and his
you
wife,
go,
they both have
there
Mercedes.
you
They
go.
both have Mercedes. They're right
You
here
know
in
how many
Massapequa.
teeth he pulled for that?
Yeah,
A
you're right.
lot.
You're right. Plus, he's got a big office right on the corner over here in Massapequa on Sunrise. So you know how much overhead that is. So this guy's he's got to be pulling teeth.
Yeah,
man,
he's
you know?
pulling a lot of teeth.
He wanted my credit card, man. I'm like,
He wanted my credit card.
I wanted to get a flat screen TV in my house, man. Now you know me
Guess
watching a
who's
little
got-
black and white TV to get my tooth fixed.
Guess who got the new big screen TV?
You got one?
No, the dentist.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. If this guy don't leave his doors locked, man, I'm taking that thing with me tonight. But the only thing I can tell you, and what gets me through this, is that my kids are doing good.
Oh,
And that's all that matters. I mean, I can make all the mistakes I can make. I have 3 kids, and they're really smart. They're having a great year in school.
Good.
And
That's
not
good.
like last year, because last year my daughter got into a little trouble.
What'd she do?
She took home in lab. She took the frogs and the scalpels, and
She was
her and a
practicing.
friend. No, they were goofing around with it, and she apologized. She was the only one to apologize,
Oh, that's
and
nice.
she returned the frogs, and they dropped her detention.
But she kept the scalpel.
She kept one scalpel. I told her she'd keep the scalpel. She's a good girl, man. You know. This year in lab, they have a teacher aide watching her and her friends. They were, you know,
Oh my gosh! You think what she did?
Nah, you know, they're gonna do a guinea pig this year. I'll tell you right now, nobody's gonna be stealing guinea pigs, man.
Oh
you know?
my gosh!
I hope not.
Oh
And that's not a scalpel either. That's a knife. you know?
Yeah.
But my kids are great. I love my kids, and you know, I just I tell them. Well, my wife tells them actually. You know, you want to do the right thing, do the opposite of what your old man does. You know? Don't do what your dad does, right? So.
Absolutely. You know, I've been to his house plenty of times, Joe, and I love you. Now that I think about that scalpel that she has, when I left one night, my right tire had just a little
Oh,
slice
yeah, right.
on the left.
You know what she does with the scalpel? Know what she did with it? She covered her books for school. She used the scalpel to
Right,
cut
just
the
to cut the
yeah,
paper?
Yeah, to cut the contact paper. She was using the scalpel, but the only problem is the scalpel was going through the paper into the wooden kitchen table. And my wife had a fit, man. So there's all these lines on my kitchen table, you know, and like there's frog guts in there too, you know. But
How old is she?
she's 12. She's in 7th grade over here at Berner Middle School.
Oh, she's in, where's that?
Massapequa, right? Yeah. So she's a great kid, man. You know, she's not like me. You know, keeps her mouth shut. She like you, man. She thinks. She thinks.
She got a boyfriend?
No boyfriends. No.
She's only 12, Joe.
I still got her watching Caillou. But
I could picture him when she brings one home.
Oh, boy.
So I was cleaning the guns at 5 a.m. I was like,
nah, man. You know, I think she's got a good head on her shoulders. You know.
it has nothing to do with that. As a parent, no guy's ever going to be good enough for your daughter. It's just, that's the way we're
Here's
built.
what you got to do, right? I have a son who's older than her, 5 years older than her. I stay out of it. He's going to the gym every day, okay? When she starts bringing boys home, he's the guy who's going to be.
No,
Right,
okay.
right.
He'll be the
Yeah.
one meeting them
Yeah.
at the front door, not me, you know? Yeah, so anyway, I don't know if I told you I had a neighbor pass away.
No, you didn't.
Yeah.
Really?
And,
What happened?
yeah, it was a neighbor. What?
What happened?
I was a neighbor from when I grew up. Okay, so it's from the neighborhood when I grew up. She passed. She's old age, man. She's like.
Oh,
85.
not where you're living now.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
childhood neighbor. So all my,
Okay.
you know, all my sisters and my mom and everybody went to the funeral home, you know, and we went down to pay our respects. I got a mass card. I got flowers, you know, and I went to the funeral home and I walked in and it was horrible, you know. Even though she's 85 or 87 years old, it's still very sad. It's heartbreaking. She's like a grandmother to me, you know.
Right.
So I went in. I gave him the mass card. I knelt down at the casket. I said a few prayers, you know, paid my condolences. And the kids, you know, my sister's kids were all there. All the kids were running around, and they were being really nice to me. It was kind of funny because, you know, in a time like that, people are nice to you, but you know they hate, you know, they don't. I'm Uncle Weirdo, you know what I'm saying?
Uncle Weirdo.
Yeah, the
Uncle
kids aren't.
Weirdo.
Normally, the kids aren't. They're not allowed around me, but they were like hanging out with me. You know,
Yeah,
so I was reading
yeah.
a book and stuff. You know, I was hanging out. I was reading a book of obituaries. But hey, listen, I was talking about how, you know, the livelihood of these people. You know.
It was informative.
So I'm sitting in the funeral home, and I see my sister, my youngest sister, walk past the door. And I'm like, where's she going? You know, I went out in the hallway. What are you doing? She's like, what are you doing in there? What are you talking about? She's like, she's in the room next door. You're in the wrong room. I was in the wrong room. I was hanging out in the wrong room.
Oh my God.
My neighbor who passed away I haven't seen her in a long time. And all these older women, they all have the same hair, the same gray hair. So I put two and two together. I had to go back and I had to ask for my mask card. You know, I had to go back. I had to take it off the little tree that holds the mask cards.
Oh my gosh.
So it was terrible, man. It was horrible, and it kind of explains why everybody was being nice. Think about it. That's why everybody's being nice
I was
to me.
going
You
to
know?
say, didn't you recognize those kids?
No, I don't
hadn't
really, I'm not
seen them
really
in
a
a
family.
while.
I see him at Thanksgiving, man. I see him at Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas.
He changed that much.
You know, and I was in there for about a half hour telling stories back and forth with these people. You know, I said, you know, we grew up in the same neighborhood, you know, and they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah, I lived. Nobody ever asked me my address or anything. So I was in there for a good 45 minutes talking to people about this woman who was not even the right woman.
That's funny.
And I knelt down and said
That's
prayers at the
funny.
wrong casket.
Well,
It
Anyway,
happens.
It happens, man.
it happens to the best of us.
So
Oh my goodness.
only me, right?
Yeah, only you.
I tell you, the guy at Charles Funeral Home said that's the first time he ever seen that. He said, no, he's seen people go in the wrong room, but you were in there,
Right.
hook, line, and sinker, man. You were kneeling down at the wrong casket. You gave them flowers. They didn't even read the card on the flowers, man. You know, if they read the card, they would have sent me the right way, you know. So the guy told me, he's like, I pointed to the last room. I don't know what the hell you're doing, you know.
Joey, that's great. You're too funny, man.
That's why I'm telling you, I don't slow down. You slow down. You think before you act, man. I'm always messing up. But
Sometimes, though, I have my moments. You know, I didn't think a couple of times in my day. That's why I'm divorced.
yeah. Well, you know,
Talk about rushing into
things like
things.
this. I don't tell my wife stories like this. So
I wouldn't.
I don't tell
I
her stuff.
wouldn't if I.
And,
I know how
I'm
I
sure.
would
I'm
act.
sure on Thanksgiving one of my family members is going to
They
bring
might
it up.
bring it up.
Yeah, but listen, I said prayers, man. I did a good thing for this woman who I didn't know.
did.
So it's not like I went in there and
You did
you know,
extra prayers.
Yeah, I wasn't eating food from there.
No.
You know.
All right.
That was a good thing.
But anyway, man, I got to tell you, this landscaping is driving me nuts too. It's I'm banned from Nassau County, so I got to work in Suffolk County. So I got a 45-minute ride to Suffolk County
Oh,
every
so you're
day.
coming in my neck of the woods, huh?
Yeah, I'm in Smithtown now a lot. We got a lot of people in Smithtown, and It's crazy, man.
Well, we did a job together. It's on video. That one job we did.
Yeah, I had Joe working with me.
Doing landscaping?
Doing
Yeah.
landscaping. He was doing the weed whacking and the edging and
Was he?
stuff like that.
And mowing the lawn.
And mowing the lawn.
Hey, he did a good job, man. The only thing is, we can't wait for, I'm nothing against Joe. He's a
Right.
great guy. And not because you're in a wheelchair. He
Yeah.
just takes his time, man. He's got to be perfect. Everything's got to be perfect. I'm like, come on, man.
We had the lawnmower when you squeeze it rolls
Yeah,
itself.
yeah.
So all I had to do was squeeze it. It was pushing me with the chair and everything.
Right.
It was taking off. It was great.
You had fun, right?
Yeah, I told him
He
I
had too
want the
much fun.
sitting lawnmower though. See, if I had the John Deere, the one that
Oh,
you sit,
yeah, yeah.
then I could have did a job right away
Yeah.
from him. But
My husband's
you know,
got that one.
Yeah, he don't want to go for the money. He wants, he's
Cheap?
yeah. that's
You
about
got to make money, man. You gotta,
If he had his ways, he'd have a bunch of guys out there with scissors cutting the lawn.
Yeah,
you know?
right. So, man, it's pretty cool, man. It's it pays the bills.
That's all that matters,
Now,
really.
the funny part about being a landscaper is when you show up to people's houses, older people in Smithtown
Yeah.
and stuff, you're a landscaper. You got to move, right?
Yeah.
They're asking you to clean their gutters. They got gutters hanging off the garage. Can you put it back up for me? I'll throw you $25. I don't want. I got to go, man. I got to.
Right,
I got to
right.
keep moving.
Well, the last time you brought the 14 Mexicans with you, that didn't help too much either. No, okay. That's
Well,
just
you had
a
a
joke.
good crew.
Yeah.
You had plenty of help there, Joe.
Yeah, I had my kids work with me on the weekends, but it's hard to get them out of bed. Man.
One day he was out. He does a lot of things. He looks that day you were looking for scrap metal.
Right.
He was piling up scrap metal and everything because he was going to,
Yeah, there's good money
people,
in that.
yeah, people buy it. And do you remember the story you told, as far as about doing
Shed.
it?
I took a
Yeah.
shed. I took a metal shed. I didn't realize. I thought it was out to the street, but it wasn't going out to the street.
Was
No,
actually
the guy
there.
was building the shed on his front lawn, and he left it out there for the night. It was a new. And I took the scrap metal, and his home security cameras got my license
What?
plate.
Oh my
but
God.
the truth is, man, I went right back there and brought it back. But he was
Yeah,
pissed
yeah.
because I dismantled it.
Yeah,
He took it
yeah.
apart.
I took it apart, so I had to get a special order on the doors because I cut the doors. But what are you gonna do, man?
You can't make this stuff up, folks. He really does
It's
shit
like
like
the perils
this.
of Pauline. It's the
Yeah.
perils of Joe.
That's what I'm saying. Like he's a slow thing. I just go, man. I'm like, oh look, a shed. I pulled over, and I grabbed it, I'm just cutting it up, and I tell you the truth, I'd be free and clear if you didn't have a home security camera, right? I would have never have known, But who
Joe,
else?
do you my son told me this joke. Do you know why blind people don't skydive?
Why?
Because it scares the shit out of the dogs.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. That's a good one, Joe.
Yeah.
I thought that was funny when he said
That's
that.
good. I like it.
So what else is going on, JoJo?
Nothing, man. I just sorry I'm late.
That's all right.
I didn't bring any chips tonight.
You didn't.
I had a
Nice.
long day.
And Camille was hungry. She told me to.
I'm sorry. I'm the
trying to
I'm the. Did you tell I'm the intern? I'm the intern. I'm not really. It's a Joe Giannino show. I'm just helping him
Right.
out. Behind the scenes, I'm helping him out. And
Right.
tonight, I feel guilty a little bit that I wasn't here on time and stuff. But
No, we were holding up the
you
fort.
guys are good.
Yeah, this show is always open to everybody. You know what? You can call in, like I said, anytime. If you have a question, you need help with something, or if there's a charity out there that needs to put a fundraising event together and you need comics, call us up. We'll do our best to help out. You know what? I always believe in helping everybody that needs help. So I'm a sucker for anything. Call me up. I'll help you out.
It's nice to see you, Joe, man. That's one of the reasons why Joe and I became good friends because he's got a good heart.
Yeah.
He's always
Does.
helping people. You help people sometime above and beyond, where he's out doing things for people that nobody would do for anybody, and
And especially in this business.
yeah. Who's that guy?
That's
Your uncle out in Queens, the guy with the what do you have, like rats or something? He's out there with glue traps. He's setting up glue traps in his wheelchair.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then he has me go pick up the dead rats off the freaking glue traps a week later.
Thank
But
God.
That
but
was
that's
funny.
Yeah, because
Well, he's old. He couldn't do it.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I went out there and, I was like, to set the
See,
glue
the
traps.
beauty with him is that he has no limitations.
right. I mean,
That's the beauty. He has
he's
no
asking me to do him a
limitations.
favor. I'd rather set the glue traps than pick them up, man. It's disgusting, man. But
To me, I look at life as what we do on earth is going to be judged one day.
Oh, absolutely.
So I also believe in that when you do something right and you do it on a consistent basis from your heart.
Right.
See, I don't do anything I don't want to do. I
Right.
do it because I do it from my heart.
Right.
In other words, I'm not looking for money. I'm not looking for anything in return. If somebody needs something, this to me always made sense. I don't know why the whole world don't get this. But if somebody needs something that you could do for them, and it doesn't cost you anything, and it's not, other than your time,
Right.
why would you tell somebody no? Whether they're disabled or walking, why would you say no? I believe in helping people because you know what? I always ask you this question. What if it was your son or your daughter that
Right.
needed that help?
That's right.
Or you needed that help? Wouldn't you want somebody to help them?
Right.
I mean, I've seen Joey, he's very also modest, Joe.
Well, I had a guy at 7-Eleven ask me to buy him a 12-pack of beer. I didn't realize. He gave me the money. I went inside, came out, and I got in trouble. I got locked up, man. Well, not locked up. I got held in the back of a cop car because he was underage. Now, helping people, you got to think. You got to use your head too.
Yeah,
You
Right.
can't.
yeah.
You got to make sure
Yes.
you're
Yeah.
doing the right.
Exactly.
I got played on that.
Sure.
Sincerely, I had no clue.
Right.
Until I saw his bus pass hanging off his belt. No, but how would you know, man?
Right.
So you gotta draw the limitations on that too. You can't be helping people do stupid.
Well,
crap.
no. Obviously, it depends on what they're asking for. And, as long as it's legit,
Right,
that's it.
right.
Well, listen, tonight, that's a wrap for the Joe Giannino Show, but I would like to thank Camille for being on my show.
And I'd like to thank Joe for inviting me.
You're always
High
welcome.
five. High five, man. That was nice
Joe?
job. Nice
Thank
job.
you.
Always. It's always a pleasure. And, folks, please tune in to us. We'll be back. We love you. Thanks for watching the show, and be blessed.
Peace.